Allow me to introduce you to the wonderful world of DIN rails. These things are just a standardized mounting system for just about any electronic you can think of. So, it got me thinking, the Voron builds use these to mount their hardware. Why couldn't I do the same on my old Ender 5 Plus since I'm modifying it? We're going to take all the electronics from the enclosure and mount them on these DIN rails. Now, for the Ender 5 Plus, you want to have a 20-inch DIN rail. And then I'm going to link to everything we're using in this build. There's going to be Thingiverse, printables, MakerWorld, all that stuff. Links to it in the description. They mount to the 2020 extrusions with some 3D printed brackets. And then all of our electronics mount onto these, which are special little clips that just hook and latch onto the DIN rail. Real simple like. This will make customizing the layout of the electronics a million times easier. And if I want to reshuffle them around, reorganize them, whatever, it isn't going to be hard to do. So first we have to disassemble all the electronics from inside the stock enclosure. All these beautiful electronic components will be going on DIN rails now. Okie doke, so we have DIN rails on the Ender 5 Plus now. We just have to populate them. Now I know this looks like a bunch of tech spaghetti, but this is exactly what I want. This machine is constantly being used to test different parts and upgrades. Having easy access to everything up at the top instead of having to flip the machine over is incredibly handy for me. Now when I want to do things like upgrade the drivers on the motherboard to something nicer and more capable, I can just pluck it out and put the new one in, change the configuration in Clipper, bada bing bada boom, Bob's your uncle. I found that the Voron printers use these wire ducts that you can get online, but I figured why not just 3D print one? On this belt printer I was able to use this, a file I found on Printables, link in the description, and I remixed it to fit the Ender 5 Plus. It's not a perfect solution because wires are still kind of strewn about everywhere, but my goodness, there's a lot of wires in this here duct. So it looks a lot smoother, and it's all tucked away so I can move the printer without wires getting snagged on anything. The last thing I needed to do was print some wire clips that fit in the 2020 and 2040 extrusions to keep the wires tidy so they're not just dangling all over the place. So now I can move this machine and not have to worry about snagging a wire. Most of the wires are in the duct, but everything else is kind of clipped down, so I'm going to consider this a pretty good success, considering I came from the stock electronics, which was very restrictive, and now everything has access to nice cold air, especially with this big old fan I got cooling the stepper drivers on my main board. So I think this is going to make modifying the printer a lot easier because I still really don't know what this machine is going to end up being at the end of the day. So having an open frame like this is awesome.